There's me overseas, across the pond by the Dover Peaks. I've smuggled myself into new nationality.
Hey, what's up guys? This is Halfway, broadcasting from around the world in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. What's up? How are you guys doing? So I just want to start out and say that I know I haven't made any new videos in a while. This will be the first new video that I posted in a while. And this is because anybody who knows me well knows that I'm a very habitual person. And if anything changes in my like usual routine, it kind of throws off everything for me. So I had somebody was actually staying with me for like 3 weeks. There was a teacher at one of my schools who just moved here from another province. So he just started working here. So he was staying with me until he found his own place. And he's a really cool dude. And you know, it was actually, you know, it was nice to have somebody here, and it was we had a lot of fun. But at the same time, it just threw off my usual routine, and I wasn't making any videos. But now I should be back to my regular schedule, and so I should start being able to make more videos for you guys again. But I wanted to talk about in this video probably the most pertinent subject in the U.S. right now, which is the current election that just happened. And the first thing I want to say about it actually is people who are saying that if you voted third party, or if you wrote in a candidate, or if you just didn't vote, that you were either wasting your vote or throwing away your vote, or you know there's something inherently wrong about not voting. Now I think obviously in a democracy it's something we should absolutely do. We should be educated on what's happening, and we should be involved in the democratic process. But I don't think it's right, especially for people who are voting for third-party candidates, or if you wrote in your own candidate, to say that you were throwing away your vote. Because if the two candidates from the majority parties are not somebody that you agree with either philosophically, morally, or for whatever reason you don't like their policies, and you just don't want that person to be the commander-in-chief of the country that we live in, you shouldn't have to manipulate your own desires because society believes that the other two candidates are the only two practical options. If you don't like either one, you should vote for the one that you like. So I could talk more about that, but I just want to get on to specifically why I'm making this video. So anybody who knows me, or if you don't know me, I'm a super progressive person. I don't have any loyalties to either party, the Democrats or the Republicans. However, in recent history, the Democrats generally align more to my philosophical beliefs and my morals and my values and the direction I want to see the country go. However, I more so align with somebody like Senator Bernie Sanders, who I wish would have won. But that being said, as much as I'm a progressive or liberal, there's a part of me that's not too worried about the results. So obviously Donald Trump is on the opposite side of the spectrum of what I want, or how I personally would like to see the country of the U.S. go. But there's some things about him. So first of all, if he does what he pledged to do during his campaign and he makes it a priority, he can absolutely get all of that stuff accomplished for the most part, because he's going to have the backing to do it. Because as I'm sure you're probably aware, the Senate and the House is also going to be Republican controlled, as well as the Supreme Court now. So he will kind of have the authority basically to do essentially not anything he wants, but anything within some form of reason. He'll have the judicial backing to be able to manipulate the laws as he wants. Now, whether he will actually do the things that he said he will do while he was campaigning is, I believe, another story completely. So, oh, you probably know this little cat. I'll get back on track. But this is my newest little friend. Her name's Mrs. Bad Cat. She's pretty cool. She's been living with me for a couple of weeks. And she keeps me company. She meows a lot, though. But she likes to hang out, which is pretty cool. But back to Donald Trump. So whether he will or will not actually do everything that he proposed, or even a majority of the thing that he proposed, are up in the air. Now, in the event that he does, I mean, some of the things are going to cause some serious problems that I don't think that people who are voting for it maybe necessarily understood. So let's start with, in his campaign, let's say the first thing that he talked about was essentially undocumented immigrants. So I think he wants to get rid of like 2 million undocumented immigrants within whatever it was, the first 100 days. And to do that is a very difficult thing to do logistically, as well as financially. So directly, it's estimated that it's going to cost over $20 billion for him to achieve that goal. So A, that's $20 billion that we're spending. B, when people say that undocumented immigrants are taking their jobs, I'm always at a loss because I don't know what jobs that they're talking about. So undocumented immigrants are primarily working in the agricultural sector. They're picking fruit. And as we saw in Georgia, when Georgia tried to get rid of their undocumented immigrants, what happened? Fruit prices skyrocketed because after the undocumented immigrants left, who was left to take the jobs that they were doing, right? So you can say, American citizens or documented immigrants. Nobody wanted to do that job. It's incredibly hard work for incredibly low wages. Nobody wanted to do it. So, what happened is Georgia said, oh, we made a mistake. Like, this is not working. So, prices on things that rely on undocumented workers are going to skyrocket. They're just going to go way up because they're not jobs that Americans want. Nobody wants that job. Nobody's going to take that job. And then other jobs like a lot of undocumented immigrants are working in like restaurants as dishwashers, maybe prep cooks in restaurants. And again, these are jobs that you as an American, you can go in and get those jobs. It's not like there's a shortage, such a long list of people who are trying to become a dishwasher and they're taking, the undocumented worker over the American, because they're getting paid the same as you would be getting anyway. It's not like the restaurant's going to really be saving any money. Now, there are some instances where obviously much smaller businesses maybe would be able to benefit from that. But most businesses that are using undocumented workers, the workers that are working there, are using Social Security numbers, and they're still getting paid at least minimum wage, and they're still paying taxes. They just, at the end of the year, don't get to claim their taxes, so there's actually a surplus of money in the system from them not having taxes. But, so that's just one thing. There's no jobs that are going to open up. There's no good middle-class, great jobs that are going to be opening up because we're getting rid of undocumented workers. So it's going to cost more money, prices are going to go up, and it's actually not going to actually help anyone. And then also with another big thing that he wanted to do is he wanted to put tariffs on Mexico and on China. And what's likely going to happen in those instances, especially with China, is China is just going to stop supplying us with things. And now, again, you're going to have to pay substantially more for this equivalent product that you used to get as to what you have now. So there are ways to do these things, but he's just not doing it the right way. But again, I don't know if he'll actually do what he says he's going to do, which is why I'm not freaking out about it right now. And there's a list of a lot of other things he's going to do. So what I would say, if you're a progressive or if you are a Democrat or even if you are maybe a libertarian that didn't want to vote for Donald Trump, whatever, the democratic process is real. It's, with the Electoral College, you can argue that there's flaws and such in the system directly of how we implement a representative democracy. But he won the the presidential nomination. Like, he did, and we just kind of have to suck it up. So we just kind of have to accept that and hope that in 2 years the Senate and the House can be flipped back to a more liberal stance. But again, we'll see. Like, who even knows? Maybe this is also why I'm not so worried. If we look back at like what Donald Trump, we have tape of him talking in like the 90s, and him talking about how he's a Democrat and he identifies more so to the Democratic Party than to the Republican Party. So the thing with him is he just talks, like, he just says whatever is needed to be said in the moment, and he's not an honest person. So I'm banking on, hopefully he wasn't as honest with some of his points in the campaign, but even in the campaign he flip-flopped on so many things and contradicted himself on a regular basis. But either way, just, if you are not a Trump supporter and you feel like you're living in a nightmare right now, like, see what happens. Like, don't freak out. Yeah, like, we'll see. I mean, I think things are going to digress, which is why I'm a progressive, because the world's always progressing, things are always changing, and what is better is adapt to the change and make the best situation out of that. While I feel like people on the conservative side more so just try to fight the change. It's like you're going on a river and it's like very smooth, and all of a sudden the river becomes turbulent, and they just still want it to be, smooth or flowing in one direction. And there's nothing you can do about it. Like, the world changes, the world evolves, economies change, cultures change, our ideas, views, and values and beliefs change over time. It's just a natural occurrence. There's no way you're going to be able to stop that, because it doesn't happen. From one generation to the next, we decide what our new values and what our new beliefs are going to be. So I don't know, just roll with it, guys, and just see what happens. And I wish everybody in the States good luck. And also, don't think that just because I am, on the other side of the world, that this can't possibly affect me, because it can greatly for a number of reasons. But even just economically, the country that I'm in Cambodia, relies heavily on the U.S. dollar. It's an integrated part of their financial system. So if something were to happen to the dollar, it could very greatly affect me in an incredibly negative way here. Not to mention the idea of what people have about the U.S. If Donald Trump does do a lot of the negative things that he said he would do, or if he's more engaged in warfare, he starts, bringing back torture like he said he would do, and if he starts killing innocent civilians like he said he has no problem doing, and, the world could become very angry. And, I'm in somewhere where I'm, a super minority here. And if people, became angry enough at Donald Trump and at the U.S., that could also be something that could, affect me or put my life in a dangerous situation. And again, I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that it does not come to that, and it's not going to be that bad. The worst case scenario, or everything that he said he would do, that it really will never come to fruition. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying, from my point of view, it's not like just because I'm disconnected physically and logistically from the U.S. that what happens in the U.S. wouldn't or can't directly affect me here on this side of the planet. But yeah, so those are my views, guys. And if you're a Donald Trump supporter, man, congratulations. I don't agree with anything of him, just about. But you got what you wanted, and the nation spoke. The nation wanted a more populist candidate, which on the left we had with Bernie Sanders, and the DNC, kind of ruined that for us. But regardless, we'll see what happens. All right, everybody, good luck. I hope everything continues to stay well in America, and I will see you guys around. As always, this is Halfway broadcasting from around the world in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Take it easy, guys.